The restricted sniper lane lit up with a single perfect hit, dead center, at a distance no one was supposed to be shooting from. A soft alarm chirped once, then twice. Spotters froze mid-call as the digital board updated like it had a mind of its own. The shot was real. Clean. Impossible. On the range, Navy SEAL trainees stared downrange in disbelief. Irritation spread fast, because in a place built on discipline, a mystery round is never just a mistake. It's a violation. Senior instructors moved immediately. Voices snapped. Radios crackled. Someone had crossed a line, and they were about to pay for it. Who fired? An instructor barked. No one answered. Another trainee muttered, "Must be a malfunction." A different voice laughed and said, "The system's glitching in this heat." Then someone else, louder, sharper, added, "Support staff should stay in their lane. Real shooting belongs to professionals." That's when the quiet female armory technician stepped forward. She held the rifle like it weighed nothing. Balanced. Familiar. She didn't rush. Didn't apologize. Didn't look angry. Her face showed no defiance. Only control. The mockery didn't stop. It sharpened. Boots scraped on concrete as people shifted for a better view. Phones lifted, just enough to record without being obvious. The range held its breath, suspended between judgment and something no one was ready to name yet. Her name tag read, Chief Petty Officer Mara Ellison. On paper, her job was simple. Armory support, logistics, serial numbers, ammo counts. She was the one who signed rifles in and out, tracked what came back, and made sure nothing went missing. She wore no shooter tabs, no morale patches, no look at me decorations. Her uniform was faded, sleeves worn thin at the elbows, hair pulled tight, practical, forgettable, and that absence was enough for most people. On an elite range, patches speak before voices do, and Mara's uniform told them, background. So they treated her like background. Senior Chief Logan Pierce, range ops lead, watched her like a problem that didn't belong on his schedule. He lived by procedures and clearance levels. Uncertainty irritated him. Chief Instructor Tyler Harland, big voice, bigger ego, enjoyed making examples. Public humiliation was his favorite tool. Lieutenant Commander Vanessa Crowe stood nearby, immaculate and composed, the type that enforced hierarchy before paperwork ever had to. And Seaman Cole Avery, young, confident, kept his phone angled just enough to catch faces, already tasting the entertainment. Only two people weren't smiling. Gunnery Sergeant Elena Ruiz leaned against a post in the back, eyes sharp. She wasn't watching Mara's face. She was watching her hands. And Sergeant First Class Noah Concade, an Army Ranger liaison, felt something in his stomach twist. He couldn't name it yet, but Mara's posture was familiar, the way a half-remembered nightmare feels familiar. Mara didn't speak. She didn't need to. She checked the wind without instruments, narrow in her eyes as dust shifted along the berm, her grip adjusted by instinct, thumb placement, pressure, angle, like habits burned into repetition, not manuals. A faint scar traced along the inside of her forearm, barely visible beneath her sleeve. Most eyes saw a workplace injury, but Ruiz's eyes tightened. That scar was clean, deliberate, treated fast under pressure. Harlan stepped forward with a humorless laugh. "If you fire that shot once," he said, loud enough for everyone, "you can fire it again." The crowd leaned in immediately. This wasn't about safety anymore. It was about proving someone wrong in public. Mara didn't argue. She cleared the chamber without being told, settled behind the rifle, and let her breathing slow until it almost disappeared. Not shallow, not forced, just controlled. She waited, not for permission, for the wind. Then, crack! The shot snapped across the range like a whip. The digital board refreshed. Another perfect hit bloomed on screen. Dead center. For a heartbeat, nobody spoke. Then voices collided. Recalibrate the system. No way, check the scope. That wasn't luck. Harlan's jaw tightened. The laughter that had filled the air minutes ago vanished like someone cut power to it. Blake Turner stepped forward next, the technician who always escalated challenges to stay in control. Static targets don't mean anything, he said. Real shooters adapt. He ordered the automated system engaged. Steel silhouettes slid into unpredictable patterns across the far berm. The range grew quiet, not mocking now, but tense. Curious. Watchful. Mara shifted her stance slightly. Not to get comfortable, but to get correct. She tracked the first target. Fired once. It dropped. Second target. One shot. Dropped. Third. Dropped. Her cadence never changed. No wasted rounds. No dramatic speed. No showmanship. Just precision measured and final. Operators exchanged glances. Confidence drained away, replaced by something uneasy. This wasn't a stunt. This was the kind of competence that made ego feel dangerous. Lieutenant Commander Crow stepped closer. Her voice stayed smooth, controlled, because she knew how to hide panic inside professionalism. "Explain the shot," she ordered, gesturing toward the tactical board near the office. "Wind, elevation, terrain, all of it." Mara rose and walked aboard. She didn't start with the target. She started with the land. She drew a ridge line from memory, rough on the board but exact in placement. She marked a valley where air pulled hard in the afternoon, the subtle rise where heat bent trajectories, wind corridors that shifted twice before reaching the lane. Her voice stayed even. No bravado, no teaching tone, just facts. Then she said something that made Concade's skin tighten. She talked about extraction angles, fallback routes, sight lines and shadows, things that lived outside the training manual. Phones lowered without anyone being told. Even Seaman Avery slid his phone into his pocket. Grin erased. Harlan's face hardened. "No one learns that from armory support," he snapped. "Who coached you?" Another voice muttered. "She stole credentials. Check her records." Suspicion replaced mockery, because when people can't deny skill, they try to explain it away. Mara capped the marker and stepped back. Still no defense. No explanation. She'd learned long ago. Explanations given too early are rarely believed. Pierce motioned to the range office. "Runner file." The safety officer typed her name, expecting an ordinary support profile. The screen paused, then locked. A restricted access notice filled the display. No details. No denial. Just a warning. Clearance required beyond your level. The officer swallowed. His face changed color. He glanced at Pierce. Pierce didn't need words. He saw it. Crow's patience snapped, not in anger, but in calculation. "Locker search," she ordered. "If there's nothing to hide, transparency ends this." Mara followed without resistance. The locker door opened with a dull metallic creak. Inside, deliberate simplicity. A worn compass in a padded case. A compact sidearm, modified in ways that instantly caught Turner's eye. Grip angle adjusted. Sights non-standard. Trigger pull lighter than regulations allowed. Not built for comfort. Built for speed under stress. At the bottom sat an old challenge coin, edges worn smooth from years of handling. Crow stepped closer, irritation bleeding into her voice. "Where did this come from? Who authorized these modifications?" Mara answered only what was required. "They're logged. They're mine." Crow didn't like that. Restraint enrages authority more than defiance ever does, because it gives him nothing to attack. Crow stepped in and grabbed the front of Mara's uniform, fingers curling into the collar fabric. Fast. Emotional. A mistake. Mara reacted before anyone could even process it. Her body turned. Her hand trapped Crow's wrist, rotating it just enough to break the grip without breaking the arm. A close quarters response. Precise. Controlled. It ended almost as soon as it began. Crow stumbled back, shocked more than hurt. Mara released immediately, both palms open, stepping back to create distance. No follow-through, no dominance, no escalation, just control. But in that split second, Mara's collar tore slightly, and just below the fabric line, faded but unmistakable, was a tattoo curved along her collarbone. Not decorative, not new, a marking, a sniper cell marking. The air left the room. Sound didn't fade. It vanished. Crow went pale. Pierce stared like his certainty had been unplugged. Turner swallowed hard. Ruiz closed her eyes briefly, not in shock, but recognition. And Kincaid finally understood the familiar feeling in his chest. This wasn't coincidence. This was history. The range waited, frozen, for whatever authority would arrive to make sense of what they'd just witnessed. Then tires rolled slowly across gravel outside. Measured boots hit concrete, formation tight. A flag officer stepped onto the range. Rear Admiral Thomas Caldwell. No ceremony, no speech, just presence. He took in a room like a surgeon takes in a patient, finding what was dying and what was still fighting. His eyes locked onto Mara. He crossed the distance in silence. No one moved to intercept him. He stopped in front of her and saluted. Sharp, precise, deliberate. Mara stiffened on reflex and returned it cleanly. Caldwell held it longer than protocol required, then lowered his hand and said, quietly, Master Chief Ellison. The title landed like a weight. No one asked questions. No one dared. Caldwell turned to the range staff. He didn't shout. He didn't lecture. He said one sentence, calm as a verdict. Judging people by appearance gets people killed. That was it. That was a correction. And it cut deeper than any yelling ever could. The range didn't feel the same after that, because they finally understood the truth. Skill doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it wears a faded uniform and waits in silence until the moment it's needed.